Welcome to This Organized Life. If you're a mom, wife, or coffee lover seeking advice on how to reduce clutter and reclaim time, look no further than your host, Laurie, founder of Simply Be Organized and author of Hot Mess, a practical guide to getting organized. For a lot of people, clutter is their dirty little secret, but it doesn't have to be. Each week, we will share practical tips, chat with experts, and provide strategies on how to keep you organized. I hope that by sharing our stories, you feel a little less alone and more empowered to tackle the areas that are holding you back. So let's get started!
Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of This Organized Life podcast. I'm your host, Laurie, and actually, it's a special episode because it is our Thanksgiving episode. And if you are listening to this in real time, thank you so much for carving out a little time on your Thanksgiving day to spend it with me. I really appreciate this. And if you are listening like after Thanksgiving, it's okay. This is what we're going to be talking about is stuff that you can apply really at any time. But I wanted to just come in here, and obviously I'm recording this before Thanksgiving because I host and it's going to be a little bit of a busy day. But I was giving some thought to what I want to talk about. And really, I just want to start from a place of gratitude. This is not trying to make it about me, but this is our 7th year doing this. We're wrapping up our 7th year of this Organized Life podcast. And I wouldn't be able to continue to do it without all of you guys out here. If you didn't show up, listen, watch, subscribe, share our show with other people, like all of these things are what allow us to continue to show up week after week. And so I am eternally grateful to each and every one of you for just choosing in a sea of podcasts to listen to us. So I just want to start by expressing that. And really, what I want to talk about today is just I made a list, shocker, of it just turned out to be 7 things, right? 7 things that kind of like little takeaways from me to you. And I don't know where you are in your season of life. You know, here I am. I'm 52 years old. I've been hosting Thanksgiving for over 20 years. I started actually hosting Thanksgiving the year I got married, which was 1998, and have not stopped since. And I love it. And it works for our family. I kind of claimed it, air quote, claimed Thanksgiving very early on. And like I said, it wound up working out really well just because my sister-in-law doesn't like to cook. I love to cook. It was a great kind of neutral uh, holiday for both of us. Sorry, I'm actually putting my phone on do not disturb. um, there we go. And so over the years, I've had a lot of things, a lot of traditions, a lot of things that have evolved, some of them by default, some of them by design. And not every Thanksgiving was picture perfect. Actually, most of them were not. And I just wanted to give you guys some nuggets of wisdom from things in my own life that you can take away and implement in yours. So um, here goes. All right. Number 1, I think it's really important to create traditions. Now, again, you might not be hosting Thanksgiving, you might be going somewhere. Maybe your Thanksgiving doesn't look the same every year. I am fortunate. And again, for me, this is what I want that I get to host every year. Some people are like, I switch it up with my in laws or whatever it is. And that works for you. That's great. But I think it's really important to create traditions, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And the traditions can look different for everybody. It could be something as simple as every year we go around the table and say what we're something that we're thankful for. It could mean every year we have a family flag football game, or we all watch the Macy's Day Parade, or we run a turkey trot. whatever it is. It could be big or small. It might just mean that you have a staple food or something that you're doing that is unique to you, because people remember traditions, right? Especially if you have kids as they grow up, whether they like it or not. Um, it's stuff that matters. And I say this as I get older. And again, sometimes the traditions that we create, we didn't even necessarily set out to create, they just sort of evolved naturally. So it doesn't have to be something that is really forced. It could just be something that, if you're looking back of like, what are certain things that we do all the time? And those are the things that your kids will remember, or that you will remember. If you don't have kids, you will remember years down the road. And I think that those memories are really, really important. So creating traditions. Okay. Second thing is, I think, really, really important for just feeling value, and that is to give everybody a job. So, especially if you are hosting, not only does this take some of the responsibility off of you, but it gives other people a purpose. And everybody wants to feel valued. Everybody wants to feel that they matter and that they are a contributor. I don't care how big, small, young, old, everybody wants to do something. So I just want to talk about our family a little bit. So my mother-in-law comes out. She lives in New York. She comes out usually a day or two before Thanksgiving. And she helps me because I do a lot of the prep the night before. So she will help me with like peeling potatoes and dicing and chopping things like onions or whatever it is. She enjoys that. And it's great for me because I don't mind doing it, but sometimes the mundane stuff, um, I have other things that I could be doing or that I prefer to be doing. Or maybe it's not something that super matters to me and it gives her something that she enjoys to do and it makes her feel valued. Um, Also, like each of my kids have like something special that they make, like a side or an appetizer. And this evolved like as they got older, where they kind of had the things that they like to do and things that mattered to them. And so that is something that we just come to um, anticipate. Not, I don't want to say expect in a bad way, but it's like, that this is, Zoe's Mexican dip that she makes every year. And Logan took over my mom's tradition of making this cranberry relish, and that's something she enjoys to do. And so everybody has this job. And even if you're visiting, if you're not the host, again, my sister-in-law comes and they come from New York and they've got some great Italian bakeries out there. And she comes every year and brings, assorted cookies for dessert. And, Zoe looks forward to the rainbow cookies and Josh looks forward to this or whatever it looks like. Having somebody know that their their job or what their contribution is, that's really what I'm looking for. The contribution that they are going to be making is important. And so I think that you can start that young if you have kids at home by even helping them do things like set the table. Logan has helped me with, setting place cards. I oftentimes will take our menu and print it out so that everyone will know what we're having. And you can have them do that, you know, make it fun, give it to kids and let them do it in Canva or whatever it is. Um, so many different things that you can do. That doesn't matter. Again, age, talents, find something that people can call their own and put like, this was my contribution. So love that. Okay. Third one has to do with taking pictures. Now, we know that everybody is walking around with a camera on their hip, in their hand, in their back pocket at all times. And I want everybody to like be present, which is something that we're going to talk about. But I also want everybody to take pictures of everybody to make memories. I've told the story before, so you may have heard this. My mom my mom was super like vain about her looks. And when she started getting older, She put on some weight. My mom was a beautiful, beautiful woman, but she started putting on weight and did not like the way she looked in pictures. And I get it, right? Like, hello, but she would avoid the camera like the plague. And so we don't have a ton of pictures. And then when she passed away, we are limited with all the pictures that we have of her because and she wasn't even old. My mom passed away at 65, but literally for probably like the last 10 years of her life, maybe even 15 years of her life, she would hide from a camera. Now, back then, we also didn't have cameras on her phone. It wasn't as easy, so it was more intentional, but it was something that I look back on now and I'm like, I wish I had more pictures of her. I have pictures when she was younger, and I have the same few pictures of like her with my kids, but I don't have a lot of pictures. And so the good news is because we can just literally whip out our phones and take a quick picture, it's easier. And so we oftentimes have a lot of pictures, but even if somebody doesn't want their picture taken, we want to be mindful and respectful of them. But I think it's really important to communicate with other people or even have that conversation with ourselves if we're not feeling like we're looking our best, or maybe we've put on weight or something else is going on in our lives. This is a snapshot of who we are at this season. And at some point, you're going to want to look back and have some sort of memory of that. And not just for you, but for the other people in your life. And so I encourage people, especially during the holidays, please, please, please take some pictures, whether you're doing a Friendsgiving, family, big, small, whatever, have some sort of like actual memory to look back on. Okay. Next one is about taking a little bit of time, which comes back into my margin. We want to have margin, a little bit of time for yourself. 30 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Now, for some people, that may seem crazy. And I get it, especially if you're like a single parent or you've got like a crazy house full of people. But if you could take 20 to 30 minutes, right? It doesn't have to be a lot, but just please 20 to 30 minutes for yourself. It could be first thing in the morning. It could be in the middle of the day. It could be after dinner, whatever works for you. I like it if I have my druthers of it to be earlier in the day so that it can kind of like set your intention for the day. But it could be going for a walk, certainly depending on where you live and what the temperature's like. We live where the fall is, and getting at that nice crisp air is just great. Just having a little bit of peace. We all have these expectations about what Thanksgiving is going to be, and it could be stressful, or it could be we think this is going to be the best Thanksgiving ever, or whatever it is. Just take some time to like reconnect with nature, reconnect with God, reconnect with yourself, whatever it is, with 20 minutes. It could be drinking a cup of coffee or tea. It could be sitting there if you're into meditation. Do that, but literally just have that time for yourself. Um, it really, really helps because, again, I think it's important at any day of the week, but especially on days that carry extra like weight of spending time with family, creating memories, all the things, just being intentional and having that little bit of time really can make a difference. Take it from me. Okay. Another one is about reaching out to people that you don't talk to on the regular. I always like to, for the longest time, I have spent a little bit in the morning, right after I kind of have my little quiet time before the craziness. And I have like a list of people that I shoot a text to. Sometimes I call, there's certain people that I call, but there's just people that I text. And it could be peripheral people in my life. Like it doesn't have to be people that are super close. Um, it could be, somebody that I like our local bartenders and waitresses that we're friendly with. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Just wanted to say hi. It could be my old college roommates. It could be a friend from another life, somebody that you work with, your neighbor. There's no like secret amount or, magic number. but just reaching out to somebody and giving a quick little like reminder of, hey, I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. I'm thinking of you. We don't have to wait until Thanksgiving to do those kinds of things, but especially on days that are around the holidays that we're expressing gratitude. Sometimes it's even harder for some people, especially if you know somebody's going through something. That's an extra reason to want to reach out. But even if they're not, even if they're just living their life and you don't even know what's going on behind closed doors, it's really nice to just take that extra minute and just say, hey, thinking of you. So, and again, you could do it once, you could copy and paste it, and it could be a generic thing. You don't have to sit there and type 75 times. You could just say, hey, just want to wish you happy Thanksgiving, thinking of you. And copy that and paste it into different people, right? If you really are trying to figure out how you can streamline and simplify things, and it makes a big difference. Um, okay, so now I'm going to flip it back. So now you're reaching out to people all over the place. The next thing that I want to say is really try to be present with the people that you're with. And this can also be a double-edged sword because we have these crazy thinking boxes that we carry around with us. And it's very easy for us to separate from like where we are physically and spend time out into the interwebs on social media, texting people, watching reels, scrolling, watching TikTok videos, scrolling other people's feeds, all of these things. And I want to caution you from that. I want to actually say to spend your Thanksgiving with the people that you're with. Again, you can take pictures, you can reach out to your friends. There's a time and a place for that, but spend time with the people that you want to be with. Or let me say that again, spend time with the people that you're with. That might not be the people you want to be with, but if you are there, I want you to try to be really intentional. And for some of you, that might mean, hey, I'm going to put my phone away. I know I'm super busy that day because I'm cooking and entertaining. And so my phone is like usually planted in one spot and I don't even necessarily know where it is. Like after the morning, like I do my morning texts, whatever, and then I put it away and I don't really look at it until the evening because I'm just logistically busy. But if you do have downtime, and oftentimes there's like downtime before dinner or after dinner or whatever it is, instead of picking up your phone, try to figure out a way that you can have conversation, play a game, again, take a walk, do something with the people that you're with, as opposed to having your head buried in your phone. Because I know we can oftentimes be in a room of people, and instead of all being together, we are all doing our own individual things. So be intentional about that. And then the last and final thing, the seventh thing that I wrote down, and this one, again, this is me, learn from my mistakes. Know that not everything has to be perfect. There are likely things that are going to go sideways. Something's going to get forgotten. Something's going to get burnt. Somebody is going to say something inappropriate. I have more memories in our family that are made from Laurie outbursts and things that I have done where I've gone sideways or off the rails, that it's just, it, it, I don't want you to have that. So it's like, remember the year that fill in the blank. So it's a stressful time. We oftentimes put this unhealthy and unrealistic pressure on ourselves to be the perfect hostess or the perfect guest or do the perfect thing or say the perfect thing or do the perfect table setting or whatever this, image is that we conjure up of what our Thanksgiving is supposed to be like. And when something happens and that doesn't happen, it can shatter all of it. It just turn it to ash. And I'm telling you, again, people, and this is like from experience, don't allow that to happen. We make it running jokes of things that I've like, gone crazy about it. And in hindsight, I'm like, it really wasn't that big a deal. But if we can say, we know that something's going to go sideways, we know that, oh, I'm going to forget to do this, or this isn't going to come out the way I wanted, and just learn to kind of roll with it, then you will not only enjoy your time, but you will set an example for the other people in the room that it's not about all the things being perfect. It's about being together. It's about the gratitude that we have. And it's about family, friends, togetherness. And that's really what's important. And sure, the food is great. I'm a huge foodie. I spend a lot of time on the food and making sure that I've like lots of good food for everybody and that things are going the way that I want them. But I have mellowed with age and wisdom. And so, for all of my younger listeners out there, please take it from me, take a page out of my book and just go with it. We do the best we can, we plan to the best of our abilities, but there are certain things that are just going to happen and they're going to be out of our control. And all we can do is react and respond to that. And hopefully not let it negatively impact the rest of the day. And because those are the things that people are going to remember. So wherever you are for Thanksgiving, I hope that it's a happy and joyous time. I know the holidays for a lot of people can be stressful. Maybe it's your first holiday without a loved one, or maybe you've been through a hard season of, divorce or health issues or any number of things that can really impact our moods, our attitudes, our, our energy, our feelings of self-worth. And I just want you to know that this is one snapshot in time. And even if this isn't your best year, like you'll get through it and tomorrow will be another day. And I hope that you can find some nugget, even if it is a tough season, some nugget of gratitude and happiness and thankfulness. I know, again, for all of you, I am so grateful for my family. I am so grateful. And I just really hope that this holiday season is special for you, wherever you are with whatever you're doing. Um, Before I leave you, do want to give you a couple calls to action. Just want to let you know about a couple things that we have going on here that you might want to be a part of. First up is we are going to be hosting, or I'm going to be hosting, a live webinar all about the Enneagram and clutter. You may have heard me talk about it or see it on Instagram. It is December 1st, and it's at 12 to 1:30 Eastern time. And if you can't make the live webinar, we will be sending out a replay, but you have to be registered in order to get that, right? It's not going to be searchable any other way. So if you're interested in it and you're like, oh, I'm at work, or that time doesn't work for me for whatever reason, totally get it. You'll definitely get the replay. But if you are able to make the live call, which I hope that you do, we're going to be I'm going to be teaching on the Enneagram and clutter, but then we're going to be doing a whole at least a 30-minute Q&A where you can ask your questions, talk about where you're struggling. The whole webinar is going to be dedicated to giving an overview of the Enneagram. If you're not familiar with it, we're going to really walk through each of the different 9 types. And we're going to talk about why this framework matters, not just about clutter, but really to help improve healthy communication. And as we enter into one of the most stressful times of the year, it's so important for us to have some sort of context and grace and understanding where other people are coming from. Take it from me. I know I live in a household with very different personality types, and understanding this, again, isn't an excuse, but it has really helped me to find language to communicate better. And then also really tying it into everything that we teach here, which is how can you live a more organized life? What are the specific strategies that are going to help you based on your Enneagram type, have that light bulb moment of, yes, this is going to work for me, or no, this does not work for me. And I'm not crazy. It's just this particular strategy doesn't work for me. So what can I do? So we're going to look at all of that. And it's only $20. So it's very, very affordable. We wanted to just make it like a low ticket item for people to just opt into this and say, hey, this is where I'm struggling. I want to learn this. I want to learn a little bit more. Maybe I don't know anything about it. Or maybe I know the Enneagram, but I've never applied it in my life. I've never like figured out, okay, what do I do with this? Like I know this information, but how do I actually, in a simple and practical, common sense approach, how do I apply it in my relationships and in my life? And so that's what we're going to talk about. That's really the goal of this. And so I would love, love, love for you to join me. We're going to have the link in the show notes, but you can also just visit simply be the letter B organized.com/webinar, simply be organized.com/webinar. And you can just get your ticket right there. Again, $20, need to be registered. I'm hoping that there's still tickets available. I think there probably will be by the time this airs on Thanksgiving. So hopefully if you're listening to this in real time, you can grab your ticket. And I would love to see you there on the 1st. It's going to be super fun. And again, we've got a few more episodes coming up this year, concluding with our best of series. So if you are newer to our show, and if this is, you just stumbled across us, our best of shows are really great because they summarize like the highlights. So if you're like, I'm not sure where to go back and listen, this is going to give you some indication. So definitely, you want to tune in and check those out. And we're going to be posting our Goodreads list for all of our guest recommendations. So every year we do that. Again, as you may know, every episode that we have a guest on, we ask them what book they're reading and loving, or something that's been really meaningful for them. We compile that list. We put it in each week's show notes, but every year we compile a big list and then push it out to you guys. So we're going to be dropping that soon. So if you're looking for good stocking stuffers or Hanukkah gifts or whatever, or maybe just a good reading book for you, you're going to want to make sure to check that out. So we will make sure to send that link as well. So all the things, click the follow, subscribe button wherever you are watching and listening to make sure that you are in the know, and make sure that you are on our email list, because that's how we communicate all this stuff. I mean, we put on social media, but we all know that that's based on an algorithm. So if you want to stay in the know to all of the things that are happening here, the webinars, any free opt-ins, anything with new episodes, get on our email list. And you can just do that right on our website, simply beorganized.com. So again, from my family to yours, happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm Laurie Palau, and I'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, peace out. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please spread the love and share it with your friends. And if this is your first time joining us, make sure to click the subscribe button wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, please leave us a review so other people know that our show is worth the listen. You can also find us on YouTube and Instagram at This Organized Life Podcast. And if you'd like to connect with us, you can head on over to our website at simply the letter B like boy organized.com, which is filled with tons of resources, including free downloads, checklists, links to our amazing organizing partners, and all of our digital offerings. I'll see you next week for another episode of This Organized Life.